Okay. All right. Hey guys. Tonight this is super open. Feel free to unmute yourself at any time. It's not structured. We do have like our list of ideas. I'll probably ramble. That's why I'm going to go last so I can watch time and not go over. But me, Jess, and Kristen are just going to give some ideas for you as far as what we plan to do with March after being in this 4 years this month. I think we all joined 4 years ago in February, which is crazy. For those of you who don't know, if you don't know me and you're on their downline, I'm Jen Wolf. I'm an Emerald on this team underneath Rachel Rogers. If you're on my team and you don't know these girls, they're some of my best friends. Jessica is in Texas, and she's been doing this 4 years, and she's senior gold or Ruby, senior gold. And Kristen is Ruby. She's been doing this 4 years also. We met at our first convention, and we've just been buddies ever since. And sometimes we pair up and just do quick trainings like this for you guys. So I'm going to let Jess go first because I'm sure she probably has more bulleted items than me. And then we'll let Kristen go, and then I'll wrap up since I'm the long-winded one. And we'll try to keep this right at 30 minutes for you guys tonight. And if you have any questions, type them in the chat. I really wanted this to be some of you who are on, like, you've been with us for a long time, so you probably feel comfortable talking. But just unmute yourself and just ask questions or say, I was thinking about this, or I don't understand that, because I really wanted this to kind of be a brainstorming strategy session and not really a call where we just talk and talk and talk the whole time. But if you don't feel like talking, then we will talk for you, and you can just take notes if you want. All right, go ahead, Jess.
No pressure making me go first.
I always do. Because if I go first, I talk for 20 minutes and then no one else can talk. So.
Oh, hang on just a sec. Let me move this. Okay, so like Jen said, I've been doing this 4 years. Valentine's Day was actually my 4-year mark. So of all days to share the love of Plexus, it was on Valentine's Day. I have had some ups and downs in my 4 years. I was thinking about it after me and Jen talked earlier today, just thinking about kind of my journey and what all I've been through and how I've overcome some things and stuff like that. And so one thing, actually, me and Kristen were talking about this the other day, going into January, and then now, I say now into February, I feel like we're still halfway through February, and we're not. We're like at the end of February. Like, February just flew by for me. But going into January and then going into February and then now moving on into March, I had the mindset of going back to, we always talk about like going back to the basics. Sometimes we feel like we like overcomplicate things, especially with all these specials that are going on and all the incentives that are coming up. And then like right now we're smack dab in the middle of convention contests, all the contests that are going on and stuff like that. And I feel like we get so focused on that and so focused on the rank ups and what do we need to do to rank up next? Like, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? That we put so much pressure on ourselves that we forget why we're doing this. So that's one thing that I've been trying to focus on. January totally did not go like I planned. I had a whole lot of things happen end of December going into January and stuff like that, that January just didn't go how I wanted it to. But shifting my mindset in January and leading into February, I totally blew the beginning of the month out of the water. And I say that like my numbers don't match that right now, but the activity that I had totally changed everything. And like I said, one thing that I did, I was just going back to thinking about what was I doing in the beginning when I was growing, when personal business was growing, my team was growing. What was I doing different that I'm not doing now? And so one of the things was, of course, the daily action stacks. And I don't mean like, we talk a lot about daily action stacks and stuff, and I don't necessarily mean sitting down and filling out every single bullet on that piece of paper. Some people aren't pen and paper kind of people. I am. If you've seen any of my videos whatsoever, I keep my daily action stacks so that I can go back and use them as a follow-up, so not everybody gets lost in the follow-up. Because I've had several people who have fallen through the cracks, who have either gone on to join somebody else in Plexus or gone on to do a different program with a completely different company, simply because I did not follow up with them. And so I keep them for that. But another thing, like I mentioned a minute ago, is just remembering why we're doing this. We're not doing this for ourselves, you guys. We are doing this to help people. we're doing this to help people financially. We're doing it to help people become better moms, just better people in general, and just to overall feel better. And so once I kind of took the step back and took the focus off of me and took the focus not necessarily completely off of my goals, but off the time frame of my goals. I took the pressure off of myself and refocused on, I'm here to help people. And the crazy thing is, you guys, is almost the second that I did that, my messenger and my notifications on comments started blowing up. I had complete strangers coming to me. I had people tagging me in comments of other people's posts wanting help with something, or there was one specifically that was wanting Plexus specifically. And somebody who had never purchased from me or anything tagged me in this post. And then I had people who I'd been following up for a long time finally message me and say that they were ready. And so just having that mindset shift completely changed everything. I was so busy the first 2 weeks of February, you guys. I couldn't even tell you what day it was. I couldn't even think straight. I couldn't even look up from what I was doing because I was so busy. And all of that was just simply from the mindset shift. And people can feel that. People can sense when you're putting the pressure out there, or when you're just throwing things out there just to throw it out there. If you're putting up a post just to throw up a post, people can sense that. If your heart is not in it, a lot of people that I've talked to lately, several people on my team specifically, we're at Struggle Bus City is what I've been calling it. And we have been stuck there for a long, long time. And so if you're in that place and you feel like you're still in that place, shift your focus. Where's your focus at right now? Are you focused on convention credits right now? Are you focused on just getting that next prize? Like right now, there's what's right now, free shipping on the $199 welcome packs. Like, are you focused on getting people on that? A lot of the conversation over the last 2 weeks is, why is there so much talk about and incentives circled around the $199 welcome packs when people struggle to promote that or get people even interested in that? Again, shift your mindset. Like, why is the $199 welcome pack so much more beneficial for them than the $99 welcome pack? And there's several conversations about that. Rachel's training that she did last week, she posted, it was the live that she did, she posted a lot of scripts in the comments, but then there was a post about it as well, explaining like what approach you can take starting at the beginning of the conversation that you're having with them to lead into the $199 welcome pack. So the conversation of a $99 welcome pack never even comes up unless flat out for sure 100% they cannot afford the $199. And so again, just to shift your mindset and shift your focus. Why are you doing this? Are you doing this strictly for the money? If so, great, good for you. There are a lot of families out there that need the money, but in order to get the money and reach your goals with the money, you still have to have the mindset of helping people. Otherwise, you're not going to go very far. So I have a few quotes that I found written down just in random places that I wanted to share. One of them, I think it was Julia Carty shared this one. Small activities done consistently over time will get you results. And then some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight will be about that. Like the daily action stacks, just reaching out to a few people here and there. I have a challenge for you guys at the end of this to go for the next 3.5, or I guess 3 days for the end of the month, that's going to go along with that. Another one I had was, I think this one might actually be Rachel Hollis. Dreams and dedication are a powerful combination. And again, going back to like, why are you doing this? Are you just going through the motions, going through the robotic motions, or are you doing this to benefit other people, not only yourself? And that's where the dedication part comes in. A lot of times we get burned out, and we get burned out quick sometimes, especially those that have been doing this for, 4 years. A lot of times it feels like we're doing the same thing over and over and over again, but that's the dedication part that's going to lead into the dream. Last one I have is, it is not enough to merely think about our potential. We need to discover it, to live it, and to make it a reality. So again, that goes back into the small things done consistently over time. A few things, I kind of talked about shifting your focus. And going along with that is change the way you post. If you feel like you're not getting very much activity on your posting anymore, change the way you post. We've been utilizing stories a lot more lately, and you can actually go back and see who's viewed those stories. on Facebook and on Instagram both. And so like if you have like a Plexus one up, like we had like the 10-day Joy Own challenge, had a lot of people look at my stories on that. You can go back and see, and then reach out to those people like, hey, would you be interested in trying a sample or learning more information about this? Did you see something that interests you or something like that? And then also, if you are one that posts product information more than anything else, change it up a little bit. Post testimonies more than product information. Or if you're one that doesn't really talk about the business, that's one thing I'm guilty of. I don't talk about the business a whole lot at all, because for a long time I didn't feel like I had like this great financial testimony, business testimony that I could share with people. But here over the last couple of days, I've been kind of looking back on that and stuff like that. I just wrote a check to pay for my x-rays and stuff for my ER visit when I sprained my ankle. I just wrote a check to pay for that. Like, a lot of people don't have that kind of money set back for when something like that happens, you know? And then like last year when Brecken broke his arm, we had to have x-rays and then go into the, doctor every other week or whatever. Like I wrote the checks to pay for that. That didn't come out of our joint bank account. Like, I had the money to pay for that. And so it's things like that. So if you're not sharing about the business, put that into your circulation. If you share more testimonies than you do product information, start adding in more product information and stuff like that. There's so many great tools for you to utilize to be able to do that. Utilize stories, I'd said that. And that's all I had, like, as far as like the notes and stuff go. The challenge I had for you guys, I actually kind of have two. One thing to do to get yourself ready for March, especially with these codes coming up that we're going to be getting. Holy freaking cow, I can't believe they're giving us 6 codes just for being commission qualified and having our subscription on. That's unheard of. And so most of you guys on here, if you're not new within the last probably 2 or 3 months, have seen my videos about the calendars that I do and my 100 Post-it notes that I have on my wall. I have little Post-it notes like this written. I actually have some sitting right here up on the wall, and I have 2 different colors. I have orange and yellow, but there's 100 of them up there. And I challenge myself. I try to do it every month, but let's be realistic, it doesn't happen. So at least every 3 months, especially when we're leading into a contest. So typically I do it before convention credits, but it didn't happen this time. But I have my Post-it notes, and I challenge myself to reach out to 100 new people, whether that be relationship building, whether that be reaching out to them about the business, whatever, somebody you've never talked to about Plexus before, somebody you just follow on Instagram, to say, yes, Pam, anybody who has is commission qualified right now, their subscription on will get codes. So you should get 12 codes instead of just 6. But anybody. And so you can do that, or you can do it as 50 relationship building and then 50 brand new people, however you want to do it. But for the next 3 days, I want you to do just 10 people. Just 10 people for the next 3 days that you have never talked to before, whether it's relationship building or you're going to reach out to them about Plexus, make one of them a dream teamer. Challenge yourself, make one of them a dream teamer. But do that over the next 3 days. Because that's going to give you people to follow up with in March, whether it be relationship building all the way through March, and then the very end, you have 1 code left and you want to reach out and offer it to them. There you go. But even if nothing comes out of it in March, that's going to set you up for follow-ups and relationship building for the next 90 days. And another challenge, if you choose to do it or not, this is one thing I'm challenging myself because I haven't done it, is get you a calendar. All of mine are down there. I'm pointing to them on the floor like you can see them. But get you like a desk calendar. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know exactly what I'm about to say. But write names in 5 to 10 names in each box for you to reach out to every day. At least 2 or 3 follow-ups, and then your new reach outs or relationship building, whatever you want to do. But fill up the whole month of March to keep yourself busy. Obviously not Saturday and Sunday, because normal people don't work on Saturday and Sunday. But fill up your box, write names in your box of everybody that you're going to reach out to that day. Couple of follow-ups, couple of relationship building, maybe 1 Plexus, however you want to figure it out or whatever. 5 to 10 people. I push myself and do 10 people. I usually do 5 follow-ups and then 5 new reach outs. However you want to do that. But fill up your March calendar, because again, even if nothing comes out of it in March, that's going to set you up for the next 90 days to end your convention contest and set you up for May, and then Leaders Retreat contest starts in June. So those are my 2 challenges for you. And I think that's everything I had. I tried to make it fast.
Okay, Kristen, you can go ahead.
Hey guys. Okay, so I just have a few little notes that I wrote on a Post-it note. So I'll just go through those. Personally, I have been one of those ones that Jess was just talking about, riding the struggle bus. I've been doing this for 4 years. It kind of was just becoming just the same old thing over and over and over again. And it was starting to get boring and was starting to lose my purpose. And so I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and a lot of, changing your mindset, and a lot of like business type podcasts, and just trying to, I guess my word would be my mission. And so instead of really focusing on my why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? For me, for me, for me, what is my mission to help other people? And so I don't know if some of you have noticed, and maybe not, I don't know, but I have been really doing much better on my posts, because I felt like they were just becoming almost like one way. And it was, I'm a runner, I eat healthy, and that's it. And I was feeling like I was probably only catering to maybe those people that may have those same interests as me. And I was kind of neglecting some of the other people who have CrossFit, or who don't really like to work out, but do care about eating or whatever. And I was also remembering, so some of you may know this, some of you may not, I'm an occupational therapist, and a light bulb went off the other day, and it reminded me of some things that I used to do. So I work with a lot of children with autism, sensory processing disorder. A lot of these children have these diagnoses of constipation, have health issues and things like that. Eczema, I mean, you name it. These, bless their heart, they're just born with it, and it just kind of goes with their diagnosis. And so a light bulb went off, and I used to share a lot of stuff about, I had to be careful, but I did share a lot of medical information. And because I felt like it really went in with my mission. And so not just the running and the clean eating and things like that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, go back to some of your posts and reflect on that. That's what I did. I kind of went back and reflected on what I was doing. And now my mission is to drop knowledge with people, making sure that all of my posts are they're actually taking something away from it that they're going to be like, oh, I can learn from that. And for example, I did a post the other day on the multivitamin, and all I did was held up the 2 capsules. I did not say anything about X Factor, nothing like that. I just said, I love this multivitamin, and dropped information about it, and actually good, knowledgeable, statistics information. If you want to add an article to the comments, I would suggest doing that too. So that's kind of where I've become, doing it more. Same goes for my stories. Same goes for my Instagram. I literally just say, I don't even remember. You can go, I can't think of an example right now, but my brain is fried. But I do remember someone specifically reaching out to me and saying, well, what kind of probiotic do you recommend, especially for someone at the age of 1 to 3? And I was like, well, so this person obviously had seen some of my posts, knew I was knowledgeable about it, knew I had done research about it, and trusted me and built that relationship with me, and then came to me and asked me a question. So that's kind of where I guess it kind of goes from. That's that strategy, is dropping knowledge. Then people will start trusting you, will come to you, ask those questions, and then you point them in that direction. And yeah, okay, so that's that. I was about to go in further, and that would just be off topic. So that's one thing, is basically reflecting on what you're doing. What's your mission? Dropping knowledge to people. My next thing is, I guess I said, develop trust. They will interact with you once you can develop that trust with them. Make educational posts. Also, what I've personally been changing is I've been actually planning my posts. I've never been someone to plan. I used to be able to fit my business into the nooks and crannies of my day. But since I started this new job about a year ago, I just can't. I do not have time during the day. So the last couple weeks, I have now planned my posts on Friday and Saturday, and I have them ready for the rest of the week. They may not be 100%, but they are pretty much copy and paste, put it in, and I'm done. We'll, either post at lunchtime, post in the early morning, or post it at dinner time. So planning, I think, is really, really important. And yeah, I think that's it. Basically, just remember that you're adding value to people, and then people will then trust you, and then will want to know more about what you're doing and what's helping you. So that's my quick tips.
Yeah, and I've noticed you've always been a good poster, even when you were just talking about runners and stuff. But being a runner, you're one of the people I always tell my new people to go follow. I'm like, just go until you learn everything about the products. Just copy her for a while. I always give my people a list of like 20 people, and I'm like, whoever resonates with you, follow them and see their posts. And anyway. Okay, so we have like 9 minutes left because I got cheap and stopped paying for Zoom, but that's good because that keeps them short, which means people will watch the playback. So I'm about to run through my notes really quick. And then really what I want to say is if you're newer, or if you've been in this, if you've never signed 6 people in a month, who cares? You will in March. Like, stop selling yourself short and stop thinking that, oh, just because I have 6 codes, I don't know if I could do that. That kind of self-talk, I know it's hard to not have it, but you have to force yourself, even if you wake up every day and say, I signed 6 people in March, so just tell yourself that, so that your brain will start expecting it, and you'll be surprised what happens, and it just feels good. So that's the first thing, is because I'm even feeling that way. I was like, I don't remember last time I signed 6 people in a month. I better get busy. So what I have for, but I pushed that thought out of my mind. So for me, what I thought was, I wanted to give you guys 3 I's. So if you want to use all 6 of your codes in March, you need to increase your activity. That's the first I. You have to increase your activity. Whatever you've been doing, I don't care how much work it is, it's probably not enough. You have to be intentional. So intentional is the next one. You can't just be willy-nilly. And I know that's funny coming from me because I'm very willy-nilly, but I already know that I have to get my crap together if I want to have a successful March and use every single one of my free codes to help people out. And then the third I is have intensity. So increase your activity, be intentional, and have intensity. Nobody gets anywhere in this if you do not increase what you're doing, have intention, and have a sense of intensity. Get excited, get hype about it. Dude, you're about to pull off something really great. The next thing I want to talk about is redefining what successful means for you, because it's different for every person. If just because you don't use all 6 codes doesn't mean you didn't succeed. Just because you could only work at 80% capacity doesn't mean you didn't succeed. So write down what success looks like for you, and then go match and be proud of yourself. But don't sell yourself short. Revamp your list. So if you have a list or you haven't made one yet, if you need to make a first one, or revamp the one you have and be super intentional. Plan your work ahead of time and increase your activity. You have 6 codes. You have to talk to more people than you are used to talking to, first time around and follow-ups. And I'm the queen of genuine, vulnerable, authentic follow-ups, where I'm probably annoying you, but you're going to still like me anyway, at least I think. So if you need examples of verbiage, just come to me. Even if you're not on my team, I don't care. Engage and interact more than usual. You want your posts to be seen in March. So spend a little extra time interacting and commenting on other people's things, especially the people from your list. That's where being intentional comes from. Don't scroll. Actually go to your people's pages. Call people. Host a launch party. If you just joined and you haven't had an online launch party hosted by your uplines, you need to ask them for one. If you haven't hosted a sip and see in person with you and just like 2 or 3 of your girlfriends and your uplines, you need to ask them to come do that for you. Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. You're going to work really, really hard in March, but it's going to be worth it. Nothing is permanent, and you can do anything temporary. So just remember that. Like, this is just so I have a killer March and my business is going to grow. And then guess what? April's going to come and you're going to be that much closer to your next goal, and you're going to be really happy that you worked that hard. You don't have to do this forever. This is just 30 days. And then ask your uplines for a plan and a checklist so that you can get your ducks in a row and someone's got their head in the game with you. And then you have an idea of what you really need to do. And if that upline isn't giving you what you need, go to the next one, or go to the next one, or come to me, Jess or Christian, and we'll help you. And that's all I've got. I think that's the fastest I've ever talked. All right. So I don't know how much time we have. How long ago was that we got that 10-minute?
We have 5 minutes.
Message.
Exactly. 5 minutes. Good job.
Oh, I talked for only 5 minutes? Woo! All right. Does anybody have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to share or like thoughts that they've, if you've been riding the struggle bus, like spit it out. What concerns do you have? Where are you struggling at that maybe we can highlight real fast in the 4.5 minutes that we have?
Yeah. Because you're not alone. We're there too.
Yeah. Been there multiple times in the 4 years.
We've been up and down.
I feel like I hit the struggle bus city. This year I felt like I was driving it, but I feel like I hit the struggle bus at least 4 or 5 times a year. Like, let's just be realistic. Yeah, this last go round I felt like I was driving the struggle bus because it was
Is anybody doing any power hours, or does anybody want to do any power hours where you just get together and do work together?
I haven't done power hour in
Night.
You can do them at night?
I've been doing them 6 a.m. with my team, Monday through Friday.
Oh, yeah. Steph's doing them at 6. I can't commit to that early.
I do 5, but nobody does it with
They've
me.
been 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. For anybody who doesn't know what a power hour is, it's just where we get on with Zoom like this and we just talk to each other. It's really low key. We're like, hey, what are you sending people? What messages are working? And we just do our work together. So it doesn't feel like you're all alone in this Plexus thing.
I feel like let's talk about doing a
most of you
blitz
probably
day.
know.
Huh?
Let's talk about doing a blitz day.
Okay, you have to explain a blitz in 2 minutes.
3. I have 3 minutes. So blitz day is basically
Go.
like a power hour, but it's spread out. It's like you can do it in an hour or 2 hours or whatever. You can get together in person or do it on Zoom or just like have like a thread where we just kind of report. Because I know like Kristen, she works like 5,000 hours. So she couldn't sit down unless we did it on a Friday or Saturday. She couldn't sit down and join us or anything. But you literally just sit there and just work. You work on like, hey, what message? It's like a power hour basically. I've done a few where we've done them in person, or I've done a few where like several teams across the United States are doing them, and then we just kind of report back as to who's doing what, who's sending what, who's focusing on what right now. I feel like we should set one of those up for March.
Yeah, we should. We could all do one in our area and then just Zoom each other in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, let's plan that. Okay.
All right, let's do it earlier in the month rather than later.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we could even do one in the beginning and then later on, like do one to send initial messages and then do one for like a follow. I've got so many codes left kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We've got a few days.
Sounds good.
So, okay.
All right.